He had a couple of hiccups about 3 or 4 starts ago that slowed him down, but he's pitched well. And I like the point you made 3 hours ago, Tom, when we were talking about setting this game up, that he's had some success pitching at the top of the zone and then his breaking ball.
Yeah, his fastball has really been good, both location-wise in terms of being in the strike zone and expanding the strike zone, which has made his breaking ball that much more effective. And you know, on a night like this where you've played one game already, you've had a long rain delay, probably a good thing that you've got a veteran guy going, because I don't think this will have disrupted what he typically does anyway. I'm sure he's going to be ready to go, and that'll be a good thing for this team.
Atlanta won game 1 in thrilling fashion. If you're just joining us tonight, this is how game 1 of the day began on Memorial Day here in Atlanta. Jacob deGrom started for the Mets, fellas, and he was as good as gold.
Well, he had only given up 1 run in the entire month of May. He had been outstanding. And finally, the Braves broke through with a home run by Tyler Flowers to make it a 2-1 Mets lead.
Braves had all kinds of trouble scoring with runners in scoring position in game 1. They were 0 for 8 with 5 strikeouts. deGrom got out of a big jam in the 7th inning, and when Mickey Callaway came out to think about taking, deGrom said, "This is my game, Skip."
That was priceless for me. I mean, I know it wasn't good fortune for the Braves, but that job he did of pitching and getting out of that jam was just spectacular in terms of locating, setting guys up, making his pitches, and it was priceless that he waved his manager off and said, "Don't even think about coming out here."
Well, after Atlanta tied it, Devin Mesoraco hit a long home run against Shane Carl to make it 3-2, and you thought, oh man, all those opportunities slipped through the Braves' fingers. This is going to be a tough one to come back from, but Atlanta down to its last extra man, Charlie Culberson, with a 2-run walk-off home run off Seth Lugo, and the Braves stunned the Mets and their beleaguered bullpen again and walked off with a 4-3 win, their 6th victory over the Mets in 7 head-to-head matchups. Unbelievable.
Not bad for a pinch hit.
Yeah, he's got the flair for that. He's done it a few times now in his career, so he's had a flair for the dramatics, and that was a big one.
That was so fun.
Yeah, Charlie Culberson, the answer to a great trivia question, which Kevin McAlpin of the Braves Radio Network pointed out online today. Charlie Culberson hit the home run, the last home run call made by Vin Scully in his legendary career. And hopefully it won't be the last home run in Charlie Culberson's career. Brandon McCarthy going to work for Atlanta. He's 4-0 this year against the Phillies. McCarthy overall this season 5-2 with a 4.67 ERA. He'll showdown with the New York Mets on this late evening at SunTrust Park.
1-2 in his career with a 2.41 ERA against the Mets. We talked about his good work in his last 2 starts. There are the numbers to back it up. 11 2/3 innings, a 1.5 ERA. Opponent's batting average way down, and the walks to strikeouts 3-1. So that's a real good sign as well.
His 4 keys to pitching success tonight. Number 1, as we just discussed, top of the zone. Using that fastball up there to set his breaking stuff up down lower in the zone. That eye level, sometimes changing the eye level really affects hitters, and they've got some pretty good left-handed hitters in the lineup. And hopefully tonight he'll be able to control that a little bit. Honestly, though, the right-handers are the ones that have given him the most trouble during the course of the year, because he's not able to use that sinker quite as much against him.
So the Mets lineup for game 2 has a whole bunch of left-handers in it. Nimmo, Conforto, Bruce, Gonzalez, Guillorme, and P.J. Conlon, the rookie starter. All bat from the left side of the plate for Mickey Callaway, whose Mets have fallen to 25-25 on the year after an 11-1 start. Their bullpen has been clobbered. 16 earned runs in their last 12 innings, and they've lost the last 4 Mets games in a row. That is a dramatic fall from grace in the Big Apple. Our Checkers weather report. It's cloudy, not rainy. We are told there is a pretty lengthy window that the Braves and Mets should be able to fill and get this game in its entirety tonight. We certainly hope that that's the case. Atlanta won game 1 on a lot of adrenaline. We'll see how much is left in the tank after an exhausting first game that the Braves won in their last at bat. So Brandon McCarthy at 10:07 Eastern time is ready to go to Brandon Nimmo, the Mets outfielder, and he takes a called strike. 70 degrees at first pitch. And that just missed down and in to Nimmo, who's hitting .263 on the year. Nimmo led off in game 1 earlier today, went 0 for 4, was hit by a pitch and scored a first inning run on a bases loaded walk. McCarthy paints a corner. It's 1-2. We have been surprised, Joe, of late at Brandon's fastball velocity.
Yeah, it's returned. He was popping 95 his last time out against Philadelphia. 5 2/3 innings, only 1 run allowed. Struck out 5.
The previous pitch to Nimmo clocked at 93. Two balls, 2 strikes, nobody on or out, just underway. Game 2 tonight. And a ground ball right to Freddie Freeman. And that's McCarthy style, a ground ball out. Nimmo's retired, 1 away.
I get your point, Tommy, though, about how it'd be a lot better to have a veteran in this spot than a young guy, because a young guy could sit around and burn up in adrenaline.
Yeah, exactly.
Waiting to go out there.
Yeah, chomping at the bit to get out there, and then you're emotionally worn out by the time the game comes. And I'm sure Mac just probably relaxed, found somewhere in the clubhouse, take a nap, and ready to go.
So here's Michael Conforto in center field for game 2. He's hitting .227 on the year. Conforto 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts in the lid lifter. And he takes high. 1 ball, no strikes. Look, the Braves are in a tough spot today with horrible weather all across the southeast. And already this tonight is the makeup game for an earlier washout when New York was in town last. The forecast for the southeast and for Atlanta in particular all week long is not particularly good. So the Braves and Mets, rather than trying to squeeze in another doubleheader, try to find an off day, which we're already running out of, wanted to do everything possible to get this game in tonight and hope for good weather luck the next 2 days. Sharply hit. Freddie can't get that one, and Conforto's aboard with the first New York hit. And he's on in front of Jay Bruce, the Mets right fielder.
That was hit very hard. Field was covered during all of the rain, with the exception of a little bit earlier this afternoon, but during the heavy downpours here over the last 3 hours, it was covered. At least the infield.
Yeah, I was going to say the outfield, another story. We might see some rooster tails if the ball's hit on a line into the grassy areas behind shortstop and second base. A strike to Jay Bruce. Bruce went 0 for 4 in the opener with a couple of strikeouts. Max Fried pitched a real good ball game. 5 innings, 2 runs, had an excellent curveball, and he used it to strike out Jay Bruce in the first inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bruce had it covered, fouled it back. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
You know, back in the olden days when I played, this would be one of those games where after a split doubleheader, a lengthy rain delay, more rain coming potentially, you might see a generous strike zone in a game like this. But it will be interesting to see if that's the case at all tonight.
And Phil Cuzzi, the man in the crosshairs for that tonight, as the 1-2 pitch just missed low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, as we told you during game 1, the umpires now have an extra umpire for doubleheaders, so that the man who calls the game behind the plate on either game doesn't work the previous game or the secondary game.
That's hammered down the right field line, and that's trouble and into the corner. That'll bounce up against the wall, and I think a fan reached over and touched the ball. Indeed, that's the case. It'll be fan interference, and that fan's going to get a souvenir. He may have saved a run, but he may not be long for game 2.
Yeah, I think there's a really good chance he saved a run here. That ball gets down and gets into that corner.
bounced up into the
bounced
crowd.
up in there, yeah.
Yeah, so that fan caught it on a bounce. We didn't see that. We lose sight of the ball in the corners with the angle we have in the broadcast booth. So fan did nothing wrong. And Adrian Gonzalez, the batter. Second and third, one out. I don't believe the Mets had a hit with a runner in scoring position in game one.
No, they were 0 for 7.
This man has been tough for Brandon McCarthy to retire. Adrian Gonzalez is 6 for 12 against him. He is a first appearance in the series. And a liner over second is in for a hit. That'll score Conforto. So Conforto, Bruce, and Gonzalez, the three lefties in a row after Nimmo, all get hits, and it's 1-0 New York.
All on breaking balls.
Yeah, all breaking balls that were up.
So 3 straight hits after a ground out puts New York ahead 1-0 for Kevin Plawecki. Very busy roster day for the New York Mets. They made a bunch of transactions, one of them getting Kevin Plawecki back. Plawecki had been on the DL since April 12th, a non-displaced hairline fracture of his left hand. He played in 4 rehab games with Vegas, had 3 hits, including a homer. And a comebacker, might get 2 out of it. Bad throw. McCarthy throws it to center field. A run is in. That'll be a fielder's choice and an error on the pitcher. Taylor made double play, and he would have been out of the inning.
Starting kind of like the first inning of game 1.
Looked like he had just a little bit of trouble getting it out of his glove and had a little hesitation to get his rhythm going, and then threw a lawn dart.
So it's 2-0 New York, and Jose Reyes the batter. So P.J. Conlon, the rookie left-hander for New York, already staked to a 2-0 lead. And he has yet to throw a pitch. Reyes sharply hit to short. Flip to second, 1. Quick throw to first, and they got him. Bang, bang, double play. Big arm saved McCarthy there. And the Mets settled for 2 in the first inning. Reyes doubled up. Swanson flips to Albies, and a rocket arm gets a fast man to end the New York first. P.J. Conlon to the mound for the Mets, who enjoy a 2-0 lead after 1/2 inning. There'll be no challenge by New York. 2-0 lead in their first turn in Atlanta in game 2. The Braves with a 1-game lead at the moment over the Phillies at 31-21. Line up with Enciarte, Albies, Freeman, and Markakis the first 4. Kurt Suzuki behind the plate. Charlie Culberson gets the start in left field. Camargo, Swanson, McCarthy 7th, 8th, and 9th. And P.J. Conlon, an interesting story, makes his second start for the Mets.
Yeah, real interesting story. 3 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs. Had a real good minor league record. 20-12 in the minor leagues. His 13th round selection for the Mets in 2015. And as Chip mentioned, we'll get into it, I'm sure. Pretty interesting story.
He'll face Ender Inciarte leading off for Atlanta. Ender went 0 for 4 in the game opener, his doubleheader opener, I should say. And Conlon with an 87-mile-an-hour fastball gets ahead with strike 1.
Does not throw hard. High 80s is about his max out.
What's wrong with that?
Oh.
Bouncing ball to first. And Gonzalez makes the play. He's going to have a big advantage. The Braves have not seen him except on video. And there aren't many who have seen him. He's 24 years old, born in Belfast, Northern Ireland. Played college ball at the University of San Diego, where he was a teammate of Chris Bryant. And as a freshman, started his college pitching career 9-0. Made his big league debut May 7th. As Tom told you, 3 runs in 3 2/3 innings.
He's listed at 6 feet 180. He does not look that tall. You'll see a lot of those too. Change ups, slow breaking balls. He's got to be very precise with his breaking stuff.
So let me ask you the age-old question. Man that doesn't throw hard, has breaking stuff, why not move up in the box?
You know, people always used to say that about me, or get closer to the plate because they knew I was going to throw away. I mean, number one, I think it's harder for a hitter to move up than it sounds.
Tapper back to the mound. Conlon's got it and throws to first.
And secondly, I always felt like when guys crowd the plate, well, you're still going to swing at pitches off the plate. It's just a matter of me figuring out how much further you'll go based on the fact that you've changed where you're standing in the batter's box a little bit. But you know, I think if you try to move up in the box a little bit and either let the ball travel more or not let it sink as much, then I think you open yourself up to some other things.
Freddie Freeman rockets one off Plawecki's mask.
But hitters, I think, are just as much creatures of habit as anybody else. They don't want to move where they stand in the box.
They're very reluctant to make any changes.
And this guy has a little bit of funkiness to his delivery, which I'm sure helps offset that 87, 88 mile-an-hour fastball. And that went right back through the box, and it might have gotten a piece on the way by.
I don't know how he didn't catch it.
Almost looked like it went between his glove and his body. It hit his glove.
So that base hit gives Freddie a 10-game hitting streak. He had 2 hits in the opener. And Conlon quite fortunate. Here's Markakis hitting .340, 7 homers, 36 knocked in. Nick with the game-tying sacrifice fly in the 8th inning earlier today. And off the plate, 1 ball, no strikes. Conlon was the Mets organizational pitcher of the year 2 years ago. He went 12-2 with a 1.65 ERA. That was in the low minor leagues, but still very impressive work. This one's hit high in the air toward left. Nimmo is back, makes the play, and Conlon retires the side in the first inning. He leads 2-0 after 1 in game 2.
up 2-0 over the Braves in this one. Well, the Braves had to make a move for Ronald Acuna, putting him on the DL. So they called up, yes, Mr. Peterson, Dustin Peterson, out of AAA, right-handed power. He's got some raw power, 267, 4 home runs at Gwinnett. If he gets in the game, it will be his major league debut. He came over from the Justin Upton trade with the Padres in 2014. His older brother, DJ, is also a professional baseball player. Everybody very excited for him, guys. We'll see if he gets in tonight and gets in the baseball encyclopedia.
Well, his family watching out west, it's prime time for them.
Yeah, good point. 7:24 out west in California. Here it's 10:24 Atlanta time as Luis Guillorme is the second baseman tonight. And he swings a little late. At McCarthy's first, no balls and a strike. Guillorme a couple of hits in game 1. 10th round pick 5 years ago for the Mets. And they are an injury riddled club right now. Yoenis Cespedes out with a hip. Travis d'Arnaud, Tommy John surgery. Todd Frazier, hamstring problem. Wilmer Flores disabled with a back. Juan Lagares has a toe problem. A.J. Ramos went to the DL with a sore shoulder.
Yeah, any team has that many guys hurt. You're going to have some struggles, and the Mets have certainly had theirs.
Well, those aren't the 24th and 5th guys on their roster. Those are key contributors and starting players for them. And as a result, New York has lost 6 of 7, and they've gone 14-24 after an 11-1 start. They lead game 2, 2-0, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a little tapper for Freddie. He'll feed McCarthy. And Brandon makes the grab for out number 1.
That feed a little more pain-free than one earlier this year that caused his shoulder to kind of pop out.
Yeah, in fact, it did dislocate. It was the final out of the 5th inning that Brandon pitched. George Poulos, the Braves athletic trainer, had to meet McCarthy on the mound and help put the shoulder back in socket as he walked back to the dugout. But he didn't miss a start. And no problem on that play here in the second. The pitch. Brandon's wife Amanda, who's a very clever lady on social media, talked about that play and said, so let me get this straight. Catches the ball on the run for the final out of the 5th inning. As this one's hit in the air to right. Markakis near the line in the stands, reaches in and makes a nice catch. Great play by Markakis to take away an at bat for Rosario. 2 out.
I like the way he kind of rolled around the corner of this.
Yeah, keep from slamming his knees into the wall. Just kind of rolled with the contour of the wall and made a nice play.
And that little boy's face says it all, doesn't it? He was excited.
Like, come on, Nick, I had that.
Super play. Here's Conlon. But Brandon's wife said, so let me get this straight. You make the play at third base, dislocate your shoulder, you walk off, you get the win, but you can't do the dishes and laundry when you're home. Seems fishy.
Or take the trash out.
Right, right. That was quite funny as P.J. Conlon digs in and hits a comebacker right at McCarthy. There's a good throw to the base, and McCarthy rebounds with a 1-2-3 second. Our Old Dominion bringing his best feature, and that feature tonight is catcher Kurt Suzuki.
Like so many of his teammates, just wearing out the Mets. 450 average, some extra base hits and RBIs. Had a pinch hit appearance in game 1, popped out.
And P.J. Conlon, who made the last out, a little late getting the mound, so he'll get a couple more warm-up tosses, and then we'll get after it here in the second inning. Suzuki, Culberson, and Camargo are coming up. Jacob deGrom was brilliant for New York in game 1. Yet another no decision for him, fellas. As we said, Tom, during game 1, I don't know if he gets as much credit as he should for being an elite pitcher in the National League. I would not hesitate at all picking him to pitch a game 7 if I had to win it.
No, it's funny. When I was downstairs in between games, I was talking to Walt Weiss, and he said the same thing. He's like, how does this guy not get, you know, the same recognition as some of these other guys? He said every time I've ever seen him, he's just nasty. And I said, you know, it's because he has so many games that he pitches well in that are wins that are just left out there. Either the bullpen blows them or they don't score many runs. I mean, yeah, if you got to win a game tomorrow, he's at the top of my list for who I want starting.
And it looks so easy.
Yeah.
While he's doing it. I mean, it's just such a joy to watch as a baseball fan. Probably not so much fun as an opposing hitter.
Well, he made a lot of points with me today. Staying in there the 1 inning and waving his manager off and waving the dugout off.
Kurt Suzuki pops one out of play, foul. And the count to Kurt, 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's a guy like we talk about a lot that, yeah, he can rush it up there, but he's got another gear when he wants to. He's not a max effort guy. He locates, and he locates 3 pitches pretty well. You know, he didn't throw many changeups today, but the ones that he threw were pretty filthy. You know, so I mean, he's got a pretty good arsenal.
Up and away, 2 balls and a strike to Suzuki. Rain has stopped. Wind is blowing from left to right toward the chop house. Good number of fans have stuck it out tonight with us. We're appreciative of that. Braves did something really cool as well. First the pitch. It stayed high. Right before first pitch, the Braves invited all the fans sitting in the upper decks to make their way down to the lower bowl if they wanted. Get a closer look at the action. And a good number have done exactly that. 3-1 pitch. Swing and a drive. Deep left field. No doubter. Long home run off the facade of the second deck for Suzuki.
That's some long haul freight right there from Old Dominion.
He did not miss a 3-1 meatball, and he creamed it.
Well, you got a guy that's a good fastball hitter and a fastball count. You're going to throw it, you better locate it. And he did not locate it.
So the Braves get a run back, and here's the hitting hero from game 1, Charlie Culberson. What a thrill it had to be for Culberson. And how exciting and how professional has he been, with not a lot of at-bats for the Braves all year, but gets a chance to play and makes the most of it. Sharply hit ground ball to Reyes. Nice move by Gonzalez at third to handle that throw. 1 in, 1 out.
I love what Tyler Flowers was saying about Charlie to Paul Bird during the rain delay, about how everybody was happy for Charlie. He's such a great teammate. Said some really complimentary things. I thought that was tremendous.
All part of being a pro is being ready when your number's called, and Culberson certainly has done that. Pressed into duty to play left field tonight here in game 2. Here's Camargo. Johan takes strike 1. Camargo at .213, 2 homers, 13 RBIs. Conlon misses downstairs. PJ's the 46th man from Ireland or Northern Ireland to play in the big leagues, and the first since Joe Cleary, who played for the 1945 Washington Senators.
Yeah, the majority of the guys from Ireland that have played in the big leagues were back in the 19-teens.
Another 3-1 pitch, another shot hammered deep toward the outfield, left center field. Near collision, ball gets between Nimmo and Conforto. And Camargo aboard with a break. He's at second with 1 out.
How did they not run together?
I don't know. Somebody should have caught it.
For them both to come this close to the baseball and not run together. I guess Nimmo, yeah, he just cut in front of him and deflected it. That was almost real ugly for the Mets.
So a break for the Braves. Let's see if they can cash it in and get the game tied. Dansby Swanson, the batter. Dansby an 0-for in the first one. And batting .267 for the year. Braves are getting some good pitches to hit in 3-1 counts. They haven't missed them. Suzuki a leadoff homer. Camargo with a double to the left center field gap. Missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Conlon's mom is from Scotland. His dad is from Ireland. They met in California while going to college. Moved back to Ireland. PJ was born, and then they moved him to the United States when he was an infant. A fly foul. And growing up in Belfast on Falls Road, which is one of the main arteries in that town. He was a child during the time of the Troubles, as they called them, the sectarian era of Northern Ireland. And when those troubles became too much for the Conlon family, they moved to the United States. And California, swing and a miss by Swanson, who didn't get it. And he's retired on strikes. That's the first strikeout for PJ tonight. 2 outs.
The strikeouts are really adding up on Dansby. 2 more in game 1. He was 0 for 4 with 2 Ks, both swinging. And against DeGrom, that's no disgrace with that slider he throws. From a lefty, that slider coming to him.
McCarthy the batter. 1 ball, no strikes. I've got 13 strikeouts for Dansby since he's come back. Line drive over second and into center field, a base hit. Here comes Camargo. Here comes Conforto's throw, and it is going to be in time. McCarthy with a hard hit ball to center, and Camargo thrown out by Conforto. Plawecki with an easy catch and tag. Johan had no chance to slide as the Mets defense makes up for that miscommunication on the Camargo double. Perfect throw. That ends the inning. Braves settle for 1 in the second inning. AA honors our fallen heroes. If you did not see it during Braves Live and during our pregame coverage and postgame coverage, that feature on the men and women at Dover Air Base is absolutely incredible. So powerful, so empowering, and such a wonderful service they render to those who have fallen in battle. As one of the servicemen said, it's their job to make sure that that serviceman has their uniform in order for their final trip home. And so we salute them and all of our veterans on this Memorial Day. We celebrate them as well. As Brandon McCarthy goes to work here in the third inning, he trails 2-1 now. And it's Nimmo, Conforto, and Bruce. 4 lefties in a row to start the lineup card for Mickey Callaway and the Mets. See if Brandon has better luck the second time around. Nimmo bounced out to first, so he's 0 for 1. Fly ball cracked deep toward the Braves bullpen. That's not coming back. A first pitch homer for Nimmo. And the Mets, who've been hitting home runs in bunches, now have hit 8 homers in their last 5 games. Nimmo just hit his 5th, and New York gets that run back. It's 3-1.
That didn't take long, did it? Didn't take long to get out of here. Didn't take long for him to run the bases.
I haven't seen too many balls hit up there. That was a poke.
So the first 4 left-handed bats for New York all have hits. Conforto singled and scored in the first inning. And were it not for a bad start to a potential double play throw by McCarthy, it might just be a 2-1 game. But it's 3-1, nobody out for the Mets center fielder. And that's off the plate, ball 2. Just 2 other National League games still in progress at the moment. Giants and Rockies are tied 5-5 in the 9th. And the Phillies are in LA. Philly had a 4-0 lead in that game. Vince Velasquez was flirting with a no-hitter. I believe he's been knocked out of the game by the Dodgers. Braves at the moment a game ahead of Philadelphia in the Eastern race. Two balls and a strike. That's lifted foul left side and out of play. Washington beat Baltimore 6-0 today. That game at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Nationals are starting to heat up. They follow the Mets here to Atlanta. The pitch is lifted into shallow left field. That's going to drop in front of Culberson. McCarthy right now has no antidote for the lefty hitters. That's 5 New York hits already in the game.
Looked like Nimmo hit a two-seamer. He was trying to turn over like a sinker and run away from him, and it didn't move. Conforto just fought one off and dumped it in.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a bad break. The other one's hanging breaking balls or fastballs catching too much of the plate, so location's been a little bit of an issue.
First pitch swing by Bruce. Culberson read that one well. And Charlie's under and has it. Bruce retired. Interesting play at first. Conforto looked like he was ready to take off with the pitch and then slammed on the brakes.
He got a great jump. He just didn't finish it.
So Adrian Gonzalez, the batter. Let's see if he can be doubled up. 5 homers, 21 knocked in for Gonzalez, whom you might recall came over with Brandon McCarthy and Scott Kazmir and Charlie Culberson in the Matt Kemp deal. The Braves then immediately released Adrian Gonzalez as a condition of him approving that trade, and the Mets scooped him up to play first base.
Players like to collect or save the jerseys they wear for the various teams. You think he got a Braves jersey, you know,
I'm saying
for
no.
those 5 minutes?
I don't think so.
No?
Because he probably didn't actually wear one.
Probably not.
Well, with the money the Braves are paying him, he could sure buy one.
True.
If needed. This guy's had a great career, hasn't he?
He has.
Really good player.
Just one of those guys that the term professional hitter would describe him very well.
Solid hitter. You're right.
Out of play foul.
I was thinking he had 2,000 hits, not 1,100. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm told by the truck I was looking at RBIs and not hits.
Yeah, makes sense.
Entered the year with 2,010 hits, 1,176 RBIs, over 300 homers.
There you go.
He play a darn good first base too.
That's the other part that often gets overlooked with Adrian. Entering this year, he played 1,875 major league games. He had committed a grand total of 76 errors.
Good career.
No balls, 2 strikes. McCarthy and Gonzalez, former teammates, and Brandon gets his man. And that's his first strikeout, 2 away in the inning. That's that high fastball, I believe you were talking about, Tom.
Yep. You know, there's more than one way to expand the zone. Brandon's done a good job of expanding the zone up. That fastball just looks so good to the hitters and can't lay off it, but they can't catch up to it.
Here's Kevin Plawecki. He bounced back to the mound, and that bad throw led to a second New York run. Plawecki had a very interesting 2017 year. Played in 37 games for New York, and he's got a base hit.
Gosh, welcome back.
He's been on base twice. This one a clean single up the middle. Stopping at second is Conforto. Last year, Plawecki played first base in a game. That came against the Braves last September. He also caught and he also pitched. The only other Met that has played those 3 positions in the single season, Todd Zeile.
I was going to guess Todd.
Was it? Were you?
Yeah.
Zeile did it in 2004.
He played everywhere.
Jose Reyes was doubled up back in the Mets' first inning. Jose batting 150. And in for a strike. We saw Reyes in early April, and the Mets for the first time here. This one down the line, and trouble if fair. It is fortunately foul and off the padding. Reyes started 0 for 20 at the plate. Things have improved slightly for him since. He's 9 for his last 39.
Well, that was going to score 2.
So McCarthy having big time trouble with the lefties. Got a break as Reyes pulled it foul. It's now an 0-2 count. 3-1 New York. Nimmo led off the inning with a homer. 2 more aboard here. The pitch. Reyes looked at that low.
Brandon's use of his fastball at the top of the zone's been good, but he's going to have to get his secondary pitches down. Sinker, get that sinker working, and the breaking ball.
Reyes in the final year of his deal. The pitch is another foul. He too has had a remarkable career. He's got over 2,100 hits. He scored over 1,100 runs. Career .286 hitter who had blistering stolen base totals in his first 3-4 major league years, including 78 steals one year. That was in 2007.
Yeah, he was electric when he came up.
1-2 pitch back to the mound. McCarthy with a body block. He'll flip it to first, and that retires the side. A run on the Nimmo homer. 2 singles and 2 runners left for the Mets. 3-1 New York. Top of the Atlanta order is coming up in game 2. In Ciarte, Albies, and Freddie Freeman. On demand, at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for all the details. 3-1 New York as we head to the home third. Ender Inciarte leads off. He rolled out to first in the first. Ender saw a grand total of 9 pitches in game 1.
Yeah, I'd love for him to be a little more patient, especially on these left-handers. Good take.
That one right there. 2 balls and a strike. At the inside corner. And they're not sure about that pitch. 2-2. There's a base hit to right. Big turnaround first for Inciarte, but he'll head back with a leadoff single. So 5 hits for Atlanta tonight.
Tried to throw a sinker down, and he couldn't get it to sink. And we're able to find a hole. Good start to the inning.
Albies tapped back to the mound in his first try against Conlon. Braves have seen him now, may have a better feel for what he has. And now that Alex Wood-like move helps him hide the baseball. Still a very manageable game. 3-1 New York. That's pulled toward third and under Reyes' glove. Ender around second, chugging for third. The throw's going to go to third late, and Ozzie just read that beautifully. He's at second base with nobody out. Back-to-back singles. Albee second on the throw. Ender went first to third on a ball to third. New York will take a look at the play at third base.
Right on the line. And Reyes got a little leather on it, but couldn't knock it down. No question he was safe unless somehow he came off the bag.
Mets are not going to challenge as Freeman takes downstairs. He had a base hit his first time up. So the tying runs in scoring position for Atlanta. Let's see if the Braves can come up with a second hit with a runner in scoring position tonight. Line foul.
Did they score that a single?
They did.
See, you have to ask yourself, the guy came over, picked the ball up, and couldn't throw a guy out at third. How do you expect him to throw somebody out at second?
Agree.
Should have been a double.
But he expanded his zone, didn't get it. That's a question for Richard Musterer, the official scorer tonight. Ozzie will take the hit. And Freddie now a 1-2 offering. Here it is. And knuckled out of play to the left side.
This guy got ahead of Freddie last time and then had one whistle right by his ear.
One ball, two strikes. Had the high fastball, but not close enough to get a swing. Line into center field, a base hit. Ender scores. Here comes Ozzie around to score. Freeman ties it up. 3 straight singles in the third inning.
I know that there are people, pitching coaches, young pitchers, old pitchers, they're all still trying to figure out how in the world do you pitch Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because, you know, you really can't double up on him a whole lot. You can't stay in one area a whole lot, and then you make a pitch like that was really a pretty good pitch, not a strike, and he hits a seed up the middle. So I mean, it's just, you know, more than anything else, you just hope he's going to get himself out.
That swing looked like a knockdown wedge shot, didn't it?
Yeah, right.
I mean, no follow through at all, just punched the ball, and it whizzed right through the middle of the infield for Freeman's second hit. 40 RBIs for Freddie now. In game 1, he passed Javi Lopez for 5th all-time on the Braves Atlanta all-time hit list. So he's got 4 hits in the series, 4 hits on the day, and he's at first with nobody out. And a strike to Nick Markakis. There is action beginning in the Mets bullpen as P.J. Conlon made his debut May 7th against the Reds in 3rd inning trouble. And a little low. 1 ball, 1 strike. A little low. Looks like, guys, the Braves are getting much better looks at this guy's stuff now the second time.
I think they're being more patient. They think he'll make a mistake if they just kind of wait him out. So far, that's happened.
Atlanta was 7 hits already, 2-1 the count. And out of play. Nick had a good pass at that one, 2-2. Markakis at .338 at the moment. .36 runs batted in. The 2-2. Swing and a shot to right. And over the head of Jay Bruce, who misplayed it. Freddie on his way to third. They're going to wave him. Here comes the relay. Freddie slams on the brakes, and wisely so. He would have been toast. Wow, Markakis got his hands inside the ball and whacked it to right. And Jay Bruce couldn't make that play cleanly. It's a double.
Jay Bruce, pretty good outfielder, but this ball never came down. It was a line drive that never really got where he thought it was going to come down and burned him.
Yeah, just kept carrying on him.
That's quickly the end of the night for Conlon.
Well, it was thought that this might be a bullpen game for the Mets, and Mickey Callaway rode Conlon as long as he could. 2+ innings. He's given up 3 runs, 8 hits, and it's lights out for the young Mets left-hander. New York goes to the bullpen. Atlanta in Markakis, part of a 2-run inning that chases P.J. Conlon, and now the recently activated Hansel Robles is coming on to face Kurt Suzuki.
You see the batting averages against him. He was having more than just a little bit of difficulty with lefties and righties before he went to the DL. Sinker slider guy. Pitcher spot due up third in the 4th inning for the Mets, and on his return from the DL, this may be the only action they expect him to get tonight.
What they hope is he can keep the ball in the ballpark. Robles has given up 5 homers in 10 1/3 innings this year, and Suzuki's already hit 1 this evening. Way outside, 1 ball, no strikes. A sprained right knee is what sent Hansel to the disabled list on May the 9th. Second and third, nobody out. 1-0 pitch. Lifted toward Bruce in right. That's going to be deep enough to bring home a run. Freeman will tag. He will score. Markakis tags as well. A very productive out for Suzuki. Give him his 2nd RBI, and the Braves have the lead.
Nicely done by Kurt there, going the other way to not only get Freddie in, but get Nick over.
And the beauty of that play is another fly ball could get you another run. And Charlie Culberson will be the batter. He bounced out to third base in the Atlanta 2nd. 4-3 Braves in the 3rd. The pitch is a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Infield in for New York. Robles turns it loose. And Charlie didn't get it.
Pretty good fastball there.
The 1-2. Markakis at third, and the 2-2 pitch. He expanded his strike zone and struck out on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. So big second out for Robles. That brings up Camargo.
He is bringing it. He was in 46 games last year for the Mets. Went 7-5, a 4.92 ERA. More strikeouts than innings pitched. Been a mainstay for their bullpen for a couple of 3 years.
That's in for a strike. Well, a game like this, we might see all their mainstays.
It is shaping up that way, that's for sure.
No balls and a strike for Camargo, who just wore one. That hit him in the foot, and he is hopping around. He wears a shin guard, but I'm almost positive that got no piece of that.
Hit him in the back foot.
Yeah, missed his front foot.
George Poulos, the Braves athletic trainer, out to check on Camargo.
Oh, and on the knee. And that was a fastball. A 96-mile-an-hour fastball off the inside of his knee.
Yeah, go get him. So here's Dansby. See if he can serve one into right field. He struck out his first and only time up. Ball one. Phillies lead the Dodgers 4-2. That game's in the 8th inning in Los Angeles. Braves at 31-21. The Phillies are 29-21. Washington already victorious. They won their 30th game against Baltimore today. So the Eastern race, top 3 teams separated by 1 game. The Mets at the moment 5 back and trailing 4-3 here in game 2. The pitch to Swanson.
One of the few times today Dansby's been able to get the count in his favor. Makes a difference, huge difference.
Perfect pitcher's pitch. 2-2.
So far, everything's been away this at bat. Got Charlie Culberson to chase something outside off the plate. Let's see if they try it again with Swanson.
Ground ball. He tried to hit it the other way, but the play to first in time And that retires the side. But a very productive inning for the Braves against P.J. Conlon. Ozzie Albies followed Inciarte with a single. Freddie Freeman with a 2-run hit. Suzuki a sac fly, and Atlanta has its first lead. Fans through the gates will get a special Freddie Freeman stretch bobblehead.
That's a beauty.
It is the perfect new addition to your Braves bobblehead collection. For a complete list of 2018 giveaways and promos like the Freddie stretch bobblehead, visit braves.com/promos.
You know what would be the perfect time to give that away? During the stretch.
That's exactly right. And little known fact about that stretch was that Tom Glavine was the model for it. In fact, Tom is upstairs with us in the booth. He decided he would model that stretch for us right now.
No, he didn't.
No?
No, he didn't.
That hurts just looking.
Yes, it does.
At Freddie's first base move over there.
Well, all of a sudden, Brandon McCarthy's got the lead.
Yeah. See if he can have an easier time of it here in the fourth. Mets have cuffed him around a bit. 3 runs on 6 hits. He's got 7, 8, 9 coming up. Luis Guillorme, the first, and a strike. Dodgers are coming back. 4-3 Phillies in the bottom of the 8th inning in L.A. Go Dodgers, go. L.A.'s going to have Clayton Kershaw back on Thursday to wrap up that series. Phillies are beginning an 11-day, 10-game road trip out west tonight. 1-1 pitch. Served foul. One and two for the New York second baseman. It's in the air to center and right at Ender, and he's got it. 1 man down. Braves country, I don't know if you heard the news the other day. We mentioned a couple of weeks ago that Chris Medlin was trying to make his way back to the major leagues after his 2 Tommy John surgeries. I believe he got a start for Arizona 12-14 days ago. Apparently Chris in the last 24-48 hours has decided to hang him up. He's going to retire as a major league pitcher after a terrific career, most of that spent here with the Braves.
He was one of our favorites. Loved his personality, loved the way he went about his business. Put that awesome streak together of, what was it, 14 straight starts without a loss or something like that.
And the Braves had won 20 or 21 straight games that he started.
Yeah.
Fly ball softly hit to right by Rosario. Markakis has that. 2 outs.
It makes me wonder if his arm was beginning to bother him a little bit again. You know, and he didn't want to go through that again.
that's a lot. That's a lot to go through, and you know, he's had a great career, like you said. It's a shame that injuries got in the way. Who knows how much better it could have been, but he was a good competitor.
Earlier this month, we were down in Tampa Bay, Tommy, and we saw Johnny Venters pitch for the Rays. He's had 3.5 Tommy John surgeries, if you can believe that, and he had a special night tonight. He picked up the save for Tampa Bay in their game against Oakland. It was a 1-0 Tampa Bay victory.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
So Robles will hit for himself here. And McCarthy with the lead now has 2 quick strikes on the Mets pitcher. Popped up right side, and that'll reach the seats behind the Braves dugout. Robles doesn't look quite as good as someone else we knew in that 47 number for the Mets. The pitch, which missed inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And McCarthy turns it loose. Here it is. All the way. Robles putting up a fight here.
His first at bat of the year. I was curious if he's got his own helmet. He does. Look at that. Even the relief pitchers have their own helmet.
Wow.
No gloves either.
Think there's any chance that's his bat?
I don't know. May get a chance to find out as he's down swinging. McCarthy a shutdown frame. Home fourth coming up. Braves by a run. Presented by T-Mobile. Not so long ago on Memorial Day 2008, Jeff Francoeur had a walk-off homer for the Braves. It wasn't against the Mets, it was against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And if you saw our coverage in game 1, Jeff said that was the ball game started by Randy Johnson, and Randy Johnson was shoving.
Yeah, he was pretty good,
as Jeff said. A wonderful finish at Turner Field against Chad Qualls and the Diamondbacks. Brandon McCarthy leads off for Atlanta. Before we go any further, big tip of the cap to our great Fox Sports crew today. We got back from Boston late last night, and our producer Gretchen Caney, Mike Miller our director, Brandon Culpepper our AD, Drew Jenkins our stat man downstairs, Jan Hartzog upstairs. Our crew got to the ballpark this morning at 5:30 to get set for this doubleheader today. And so they are working triple overtime to bring you Braves baseball tonight. And we appreciate their hard work. Couldn't do it without them. And a great job, guys and gals. Super appreciative. One out.
We were missing some toothpicks up here, and we know where they are now. They're holding eyelids open.
Running on fumes.
I think everybody's happy with the triple overtime, though. That's the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Ender.
And an empty net.
4-3 Atlanta. Ender with a single and a run scored. The pitch from Robles slashed out a play foul. It's 0-1. Dodgers have tied the Phillies 4-4. Love it. Schedule for the Phillies figures to tighten up and get a little more difficult. They had a pretty easy run the first 43 games. But to their credit, they won the games they were supposed to, and finally were able to beat the Braves in a series for the first time at the start of our just completed road trip. They had first place to themselves for one full day. Atlanta got it back. Out of play foul, 1-2 for Ender.
There's a good aggressive swing from Ender.
Robles ready for his 20th pitch. And it was a blistering fastball. He's got a couple of strikeouts, 2 away.
I'd say the time off on the DL has helped him. Good life on his fastball.
Well, by and large, I think it's safe to say the Mets starting rotation has been somewhat disappointing for them, with the exception of Syndergaard and Jacob deGrom. Vargas has lost 3 games, has a 10.6 ERA. Matt Harvey was winless before he was traded. As a liner by Albies into center field, comes with 2 outs. He's 2 for 3. Zach Wheeler's got a 5-point ERA. I mean, their starters entering this series were only 13-13 on the year, and that was supposed to be, fellas, the strength of their club.
Well, unfortunately, it seems like we've been having that conversation for 3 or 4 years now. You know, you talk about when you talk about the Mets going into a season, it's, you know, you start talking about that rotation, and then it inevitably ends with if they can stay healthy, if they can do the things you think they're capable of doing, and it just hasn't happened.
And it doesn't seem, guys, like there's an awful lot of organizational depth with regards to that rotation, unlike the Braves, who in starting Max Fried in game 1, Max, I think, became the 7th Braves starter in the last 9 games. 7th different guy. I don't think there are many organizations that can say that.
No, I would agree. I agree with that.
And so what an advantage for Atlanta. When they want to, they can plug in a quality guy, give their rotation an extra day's worth of rest, which, according to the sabermetric folks, is incredibly beneficial. Good night for Freddie. He's 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs and a run scored. 1 ball, 1 strike. At the knees, I think. 1-2. That look tells you Freddie didn't think much of the call.
No, it was borderline, but remember what Tom said in the ancient olden days when he played. These games sometimes would have a big zone.
You know what was great about those games, Joe? The chariot races that they had in between the 7th and 8th innings. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Braves 4, Mets 3 in game 2. Ozzie a good lead. Here it is. And that's tipped and caught by Plawecki. And that retires the side. Robles has 3 strikeouts. Top of the Mets orders coming up in the 5th. Sponsored by Audi with Joe Simpson and Tom Glavine. Chip Carey with you from SunTrust Park. 2-hour and 57-minute rain delay before the scheduled start of 7:05 tonight. It's made for a very long day. Brandon McCarthy and the Braves, though, trying to make it a very productive day and sweep the doubleheader. Winning pitcher in game 1 was Shane Carl. Brandon McCarthy's got to get through this 5th inning to at least qualify for his 6th win of the season. He's got the top of the order, and this has been the group that's given him the most trouble. Brandon Nimmo hit a home run last time up, swung at the first one again this time, but skied it foul for a strike. Inside corner, a beautiful pitch. Mentioned it in game 1. Nimmo, a really interesting story. The 13th pick in the 2011 draft by the Mets. He did not play high school baseball because his high school didn't have a team.
That's crazy.
He played Legion ball, and that's where the Mets saw him. After they drafted him in 2011, he slowly and methodically made his way through the New York system, getting to AAA for the first time in 2015, the big leagues for the first time in 2016.
Guess that kind of dispels the you have to play travel ball in 1,000 games a year as a kid, huh?
Right.
This guy 2 years ago had a tremendous year at Las Vegas. He had .352 and was second in the Coast League hitting to his teammate T.J. Rivera, who's also hurt for the Mets.
Rolled foul.
Maybe he had to have Tommy John surgery.
And no, that's not why his initials are T.J.
No.
We saw Rivera last year. He had some big hits against the Braves last season. One ball, 2 strikes. Nimmo popped up. This one might stay in play. It's, however, beyond the screen. We'll do it again. Nimmo has excellent strike zone discipline. Last year swung him only 13% of pitches off the plate. That was the 3rd best among hitters who saw 250 or more pitches out of the zone.
Love all those qualifiers.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Another pop up. This one might stay in play at the screen. Nope. He's flirted with that netting twice. 1-2. Well, 13% of 250 or more pitches is a lot more impressive than 13% of 100 pitches.
13% of 250 or more pitches among hitters who have the middle initial J.
There is a number for everything if you want.
Oh, don't we know?
Base is empty. 1-2 pitch. Grounded to first, and McCarthy wins the battle with Nimmo. 1 out. 5 straight retired by McCarthy after Plawecki's 3rd inning hit. Now Conforto and Bruce are lurking. Conforto's 2 for 2. Good news in LA. The Dodgers have taken a 5-4 lead over the Phillies. They're going to the 9th inning, and I presume that'll be Kenley Jansen time for LA. Dodgers are starting to play better.
Matt Kemp was involved in that rally.
Matt is quietly having a great return year with the Mets, or with the Dodgers, I beg your pardon. At one point, Kemp was 2nd in the league in hitting. He's 3rd entering action today at .333. No balls and a strike for Conforto. There's a good breaking ball. Pitch that gave him trouble early.
Yeah, he hasn't thrown many. It's been a little better the last couple of innings, but start to play tonight, it was just a spinner, which is very unusual for him. He's got such a good hook. Kurt wants this one upstairs.
Ground ball to second. In between hop, but Ozzie stayed with it. 6 up, 6 down for McCarthy. Jay Bruce coming up.
Brandon pitches to contact, but he doesn't panic about it, and he gives up some runs, and he doesn't panic about that either.
No, he's pretty efficient. You know, like you say, he's gonna, if you want to hit a ball on the ground early in the count, go ahead, do it. You know, if he gets deep, he's going to put you away. But pretty efficient with what he does.
But he's also good at, when he does get in some trouble or give up a couple of runs, he doesn't start walking a bunch of people like he's afraid to pitch to contact.
Well, he hasn't walked anybody tonight. He's struck out a pair of men. 3 runs on 6 hits. The pitch. High, towering fly ball to center. No carry to it. Ender is there. He's under, and McCarthy's through 5 with the lead. He's retired 7 straight. Atlanta 4, New York 3. Memorial Day holiday here at SunTrust Park. So many awesome things have happened at the ballpark today, including the Coors Light Below the Chop Military Appreciation Party. We talked with Len Pagano from Safe America earlier today. We had a fantastic ceremonial first pitch. Of course, the 21-gun salute. Big American flag unfurled in the outfield. All the great servicemen and women here at the ballpark today. What a wonderful tribute to our men and women in uniform today.
Yeah, great job.
Nick Markakis leads off the Atlanta fifth. He's doubled and flied to left. Forgot about the flyover too. That was perfectly timed, and it caught all of us by surprise during the national anthem. The flyover came from the Naval Air Station in Key West today.
That's neat.
One ball, one strike for Nick Markakis. The pitch is way outside.
What do you figure it took him to get here?
Not sure if they went supersonic or not. But their jets flew across the ballpark in the blink of an eye. They were buzzing the tower, as it were, from right to left. Good pitch, even count, 2-2. Markakis, Suzuki, and Culberson, the trio up for the Braves. The pitch is flied toward left, and Nimmo is there and puts it away. 1 out. Phillies are down to their last out in the 9th inning in Los Angeles. Dodgers lead 5-4 there. Rhys Hoskins is the man in the batter's box against Kenley Jansen, and he's down to his last strike. Kurt Suzuki's knocked in a couple of runs tonight, a homer and a sac fly. And ripped that one foul. And Rhys Hoskins, I think, just fouled a ball off his face in the 9th inning and is being attended to by the Phillies trainer. They've got a towel and they're walking him off the field in Los Angeles.
Yeah, he's bleeding pretty good.
Wow. Pitch, bouncing ball foul. Oh, we're watching the replay of the Dodger game. Hoskins hit a foul ball off his hands and the ball went straight up into his lips.
I think it hit him in the mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised if he lost a tooth.
0-2 pitch. He is up and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mets got 2 first-inning runs. Braves answered with a single run in the second. New York got a run back in the third. Atlanta got 3 in the bottom half. Pitch. Smoke toward third. Reyes can't get it. Suzuki's going to have another hit. He's on his way to second. The throw on line, and he beats the wrap. Great game 2 for Kurt Suzuki, his 8th double.
He's hit some rockets at third base in recent days, some that unfortunately were right at the third baseman. I don't think Reyes was in any hurry to try to get any leather on that one.
Add-on runs so important. The Braves already with 10 hits tonight. The pitch. Fly ball center. Conforto going back. Still going back to the edge of the track. He'll have room. And no chance for Kurt to tag up. He went halfway on that deep fly ball. 2 outs. And here's Camargo. He's doubled. He's been hit by a pitch. Ball 1 inside. Bullpen for the Mets is busy. First game back for Robles from the disabled list. He's pitched well.
I think I was in the rotation a couple of days ago.
It's Jacob Rame. 1 ball, no strikes. And downstairs. Mentioned the Braves have 10 hits tonight. This is the 53rd game of the season. The Braves have had double digits hits totals in 20 of those games.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it? Could use a few more runs tonight.
Outside. Rosario was sneaking in behind Suzuki. They had him picked off, but Robles didn't see it. He made the pitch instead. And the Dodgers just finished off the Phillies. Pitch downstairs, and Camargo walks on 4. So Robles might be running out of gas a little bit here. He's thrown 39 pitches. He's gone 2 2/3 so far. Let's see if Dansby can take advantage of the extra out.
Camargo drew a walk in the first game. He's drawn a walk here in the second game. That gives him 21 walks on the year against 15 strikeouts. His on-base percentage continues to be real good. His average is not where he'd like it to be.
Well, he can improve on that with a couple of good at-bats later in the game. Here's Swanson. The pitch. He is right there, a strike. Seattle won again today. Mariners beat Texas 2-1. They're only a game out in the West behind the Astros. Low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And made a deal to try to make themselves a little more competitive too, getting Colomé, the closer from Tampa Bay, and Denard Span.
Yeah, the benefit for Seattle with Robinson Cano being suspended, they don't have to pay him that $11 million salary loss. They get that money back and they can go spend it. And they have. Pitch lifted down the right field line. Long run. Gonzalez won't get there. And the fans chase the souvenir. It's 1-2.
Maybe someday there will come a time where the owners will have an opportunity or an option to void a contract of a drug violator.
Yeah, the one with Cano is such a puzzler. He had the contract already. Why cheat? Because certainly the penalties are not enough of a deterrent yet. 1-2 pitch won't be made. Dansby steps out. Got something in his eye. Now he's ready to go. Suzuki at second, Camargo at first. The 1-2 pitch. Here it is. Good cut at that one. Big story in the American League Central. There'll be a parade in Cleveland, not because LeBron James won, but the Indians are actually 2 games over 500 finally. The only team in the Central that can say that.
They'll be running away with the division if they keep that up, win 2 more.
Well, they're only 3.5 ahead of Detroit, and the Tigers are 5 under, and they won today. The pitch. Good pass at that pitch by Swanson.
I'm guessing they'll run away with their division before it's all over.
You would think. They've had some major bullpen problems in Cleveland in the early going.
Well, they didn't re-sign Shaw. That was one bad hop they got in the bullpen. Andrew Miller's been hurt.
Unfortunate they play in the rebuilding AL Central. Pitch. Dansby reached around, bounced it over to third. Reyes fires to second in time, and that'll retire the side. No runs, a hit, 2 men left, 5 complete in game 2. Braves by a run.
As we head into the 6th inning, and welcome into our Braves Live set. I'm Kelsey Wingert with this Xfinity game break. You heard the guys talking about Phillies at Dodgers. Phillies were up 4-0, and the Dodgers started chipping away. 8th inning, former Brave Matt Kemp doubles to score Yasiel Puig to make it 4-3. Then Max Muncy with an RBI single. That would score Matt Kemp and tie the game up. A little bit later in that inning, Yasmani Grandal, RBI single to give the Dodgers a 5-4 lead. That would be your final. The Phillies now fall to 3rd in the NL East. The Nats pass them. Atlanta has a 1-game lead, you guys.
Like that. And it's a tough stretch for the Phillies. Braves just wrapped up their tough stretch and held serve and held first place after dropping 2 out of 3 in Philadelphia. Atlanta now a 1-game lead over Washington, the next team into SunTrust Park. The Phillies fall a 1.5 back, and this game's decision yet to be turned in. It could be a very productive night for the Braves if McCarthy can keep doing what he's doing of late. He set down 7 straight New York Mets, and he's got the 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up in inning number 6. Gonzalez with the first inning hit. He's also struck him out. And that one right off his thumbs and into the Mets dugout. Foul, a strike. I do hope Rhys Hoskins is all right. That was a nasty looking foul ball.
Like Tom said, he may have been spitting some teeth before he got to the dugout.
Yeah.
Right in the mouth.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I was going to say, I don't think I have either on a swing like that. I've seen guys try to bunt a ball and foul it off their face. But I've never seen a guy take a swing, like a full swing, and have it hit them in the mouth.
1 ball, 1 strike for Gonzalez. Base is empty, and that went off Kurt Suzuki.
Yeah, and he didn't foul it into the dirt and have it bounce up and hit him. It went right from bat to face.
He's a talented kid. You hope, again, he'll be all right for the Phillies, who couldn't hang on to a lead today. Colorado beat the Giants 6-5. That final just in. Foul back. Rockies trying to right the ship at home. They've been a much better road team than they've been at Coors Field, which is real odd. Rockies with the lead in the division out west at 29-25 now. They're now 10-12 at home. Very strange. Another 1-2 pitch from McCarthy. He is rolled to first, and that's foul. The team that held the lead in the division was the Arizona Diamondbacks. They have gone ice cold.
That's crazy how cold they've been.
In fairness to them, they've had all kinds of injuries with Souza going down. They've lost A.J. Pollock for a while. But the Diamondbacks started play today, losers of 15 of 17 games. Another pop. Camargo gives chase, won't get that one. But Arizona broke out today against Cincinnati, beating the Reds and Homer Bailey 12-5 today. To put that in perspective, Arizona just wrapped up a 1-8 road trip that saw them score 18 runs in those 9 games. They scored 12 at home against the Reds.
Well, they were 15th in average, 14th in runs scored going into that game today. 15th in hits, 13th in home runs in that ballpark with that team they have. Last in on base percentage, next to last in slugging, if you want to look to one place. That's causing some of their trouble. They're first in ERA.
But no run support. Got plenty of it today, however. We'll try to find out what Paul Goldschmidt did in the game. He has been one of the central storylines for Arizona's offensive woes. Goldschmidt entered play today with just 2 homers and 5 RBIs this month. That is not like him. But Arizona broke out today, beating the Reds. The pitch. This is quite an at bat for Adrian Gonzalez.
I'll say. The Diamondbacks #1 in pitching, and they've made the fewest errors. They're the #1 team defensively. They've only made 16 errors all year. Braves have made 30 by comparison.
The 10th pitch of the at bat is a ground ball to Freddie Freeman. Big league at bat by Adrian Gonzalez, but McCarthy tames him. 8 up and 8 men down. And here's Kevin Plawecki. Cubs beat the Pirates 7-0. Little controversy in that game. Anthony Rizzo had a hard slide at the plate, and it was a takeout slide. As he crossed home plate, he kicked the legs out from under the Pirate catcher, who was throwing to first, trying to complete a double play. Throw sailed into right field. 2 more runs scored, and the Pirates went crazy. Little dribbler toward Camargo, who read it well and couldn't handle the wet baseball. See how that scored. That'll be a hit.
Wow. Okay.
Just flat out dropped it.
So they took offense because he took out the catcher, Rizzo did, and
yeah, it wasn't a dirty slide. I mean, Rizzo just went in, like you're taught, try to
break it up,
break up the double play.
Is it against the rules to do that?
No.
Well, then what's the problem?
Yeah.
Well, what Clint Hurdle was saying is that the catcher is defenseless in that position when he's trying to make a throw to first base.
That sounds like another rule.
Yeah, maybe I was going to say maybe he is, but if there's no rule against it,
right,
then argue the rule. Don't argue the call.
Let's just go ahead and put everybody in bubble wrap and not call it baseball anymore.
Probably didn't help that Rizzo hit a home run in the game too and rubbed it in.
So Reyes with a base hit, his first of the night, and here's Guillorme. Back-to-back hits for New York. McCarthy to the stretch for the first time since the third inning.
Yeah, let's not forget this is only a one-run lead.
Little pop down the left field line. That's out of play, foul. 31,779 the attendance.
Probably at one point.
Ticket sold.
No balls and a strike. As we approach the midnight hour in Atlanta, the delivery is inside. A lot of fans were bummed out that the Jason Isbell concert had to be postponed because of the late start and all the early evening rain. That will be rescheduled for a later date.
Yeah, there's no way they could have pulled that equipment out onto the field as soggy as it was.
Right back where it came from and into center field, a hit. Plawecki, a catcher, will be stopped at third. And New York has 3 consecutive singles after 1 out. And the play not made by Camargo looming larger and larger as Ahmed Rosario's the hitter. Bases loaded for the Mets.
Brandon's had a couple of them hit at his feet tonight, but they've rattled around so he could grab them and throw people out. Not there.
Rays bullpen phone is ringing. Peter Moylan is up and throwing. Suzuki and Swanson will go to McCarthy and give Moylan a few extra tosses here. He just got up a moment ago. Wonder if that long at bat with Gonzalez is taking a little steam out of Brandon's arm here in this inning. 10 pitch at bat before the ground out. The roller to third by Plawecki. And that is going to be the end of the line for the Braves right-hander. Brian Snitker's on his way out. Peter Moylan, a ground ball specialist when he's right, will hopefully get the call here.
Yeah, Brian was a slow walk. He's taken all the time he can before he has to make that decision. But the PA's playing Peter's music. They assume he's coming in.
And indeed he is. Once Phil Cuzzy got to the mound, Brian Snitker made the call to the pen. Bases loaded. Peter Moylan on for Brandon McCarthy. Our Xfinity cam, Peter Moylan is indeed on. Let's call him Peter Midnight Moylan. He's got the bases loaded with one out, and Ahmed Rosario, the New York shortstop, the man in the batter's box.
Peter got charged with a run 2 nights ago in Boston. But before that, he had had a real good run of 5 straight outings without allowing a run and only 1 hit. Been pitching much better. Good results. Would love to get a ground ball here.
McCarthy goes 5 1/3, 9 hits. 3 runs. The base is loaded. Those runners belong to Brandon as well. Rosario has popped out twice. Line drive on the first pitch. A base hit, scores 1. Reyes around third. Culberson double clutches. His throw back to second. Everybody's safe, and New York has the lead. So 2 RBIs for Rosario, and New York is back in front.
Wasted no time. Got a fastball belt high. Didn't sink enough.
Yeah, just kind of laid flat there a little bit. Didn't get the sink that he wanted, and good swing.
So New York is in front. Robles will be taken down after 3 scoreless innings of relief, and Jose Bautista will be the batter. Robles gave up a couple of hits, walked 1, struck out 3, also hit a batter. And a strike to Bautista.
Robles, 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and 1 hit batter.
Nothing in 1 for Bautista. Belt tie a strike. Seesaw game in Atlanta. 5-4 New York now. And all the way to the backstop. No chance for Suzuki on that one. So a very wild pitch for Moylan. A hit could mean 2 for Bautista, but he's behind in the count. A ball and 2 strikes. Little nubber back to the mound. Moylan will flip to first, and that's an important second out. So here's Nimmo. He homered in the 3rd inning. That gave the Mets their 3rd run.
With the results of the base hit and the wild pitch, I'm curious to know if Peter got warm enough.
Yeah, because he wasn't up very long.
No.
Ball 1. Yeah, tough spot for Moylan here. You've got the 4 left-handed hitters, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on the Mets lineup card. Nimmo's the 7th man to hit. Lifted toward left. Long run, Culberson. In foul ground to the track. He's got room, and he's going to make the catch. So Rosario jumped on the first pitch he saw from Peter Moylan. He drives home 2 runs. That has McCarthy trailing in the game now. 5-4 in the 6th. As Staff Sergeant Ron Rodriguez with a great tomahawk chop and a big standing ovation. So we salute Staff Sergeant Rodriguez here at SunTrust Park. Atlanta now stares down Robert Gesellman. He will face Ryan Flaherty, who will pinch hit for Peter Moylan.
Gesellman got the win, and the only win the Mets have earned this year against the Braves in that 12-inning game.
He's given up 4 runs to the Braves in 3 innings of work. He settled in nicely. 4 runs in his last 14 2/3 pitched. And that is saying a lot for a Mets pen that recently has been hit very hard. Mets have lost 4 straight. All 4 of those losses charged to their relief corps. Ground ball by Flaherty. A pinch hit single for Ryan. And the Braves try to answer right back. He represents the tying run.
Good start. Another good at bat by a pinch hitter.
And we go back to the top of the order. Gesellman, a statistical oddity in that game on April 20th against the Braves. He earned the win and scored the winning run in extra innings. Gesellman came on to pitch in the 10th inning and was hit by a pitch in the 12th. And New York won the game 5-3. He earned his 2nd victory of the season. He's in immediate trouble here in the Atlanta 6th. And into a good rip. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He would be another candidate for the rotation. He's been a starter for them in the past, spot starter.
One pitch. Flaherty a short lead at first. Swing and a drive down the right field line. That's headed for the corner. Flaherty around second, on his way to third. They're going to wave him. Here comes the throw to the plate. Again, they slam on the brakes. That's twice in this game that Ron Washington's been waving. Freddie Freeman stopped wisely. Flaherty stops wisely. Atlanta has 2nd and 3rd, nobody out in a 5-4 game.
Real sweet swing here by Ender on a breaking ball coming to him. Boy, did he put a nice swing on that and get the barrel out. Jay Bruce has a terrific arm. That kind of puts a crimp in your willingness to try to score a guy from first base. Late stop sign. Flaherty able to throw on the brakes.
Albies 3 for 7 against Gesellman. He's 2 for 3 tonight with a run scored. A fly ball of depth probably gets you tied. Braves are hoping for so much more than that. That appeared off the plate. Ozzie couldn't resist. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good changeup.
After Albies, Freddie Freeman, then Nick Markakis. Braves have 12 hits in this game. It is their 21st double-digit hit game this season as a team. The pitch. Fastball this time, same spot. Gesellman ready. His 1-2 off the plate, even count. The Braves are an astounding 17-3 when they have 10 or more hits in a game. Ozzie protected nicely there. That ball rattles into the front row of the seats beyond the camera well on the Braves side of the field.
Yeah, it was almost going to hit him.
The 2-2 fouled away.
Fastball is his best pitch. Made a good pitch early in the count with a changeup. Might come back to it here. Ground ball to the right side, gets one in and gets one over.
Shift on for Ozzie. The pitch struck him out. A ball in the dirt, and the throw will be made to first base for out number 1. So an unproductive out for Albies. And now Freeman's the batter with second and third, one out.
Good pitch, back foot breaking ball. Not much you can do with that.
Best pitch he's made this inning.
Well, and how about this choice by New York? It's pick your poison. They walked Freeman intentionally to set up a double play chance. But now you've got Nick Markakis, who's been the leading hitter in the league for the last week and a half, and is having a sizzling May. Markakis 4 for 18 against Gesellman. Freeman 6 for 18 against Robert. See how it works out.
You're going to be forced to pitch to one of them. So you might as well take your chances and pitch to Nick with the bases loaded and try and get a double play.
And typically in this spot, he's very patient. He makes you make a mistake.
Made him throw a strike, and he did. He's our Georgia Lottery feature. He's killed the Mets. He leads the league in hits. And they walked Freeman to get to him. We'll see if it works. No balls and a strike. A Brave at every base. And it's 0-2. Braves have already left 7 men on base in the game. They are 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Showed you earlier, Nick, an excellent 2-strike hitter, hitting in the 270s with 2 strikes this year. The 0-2. Little chopper, slowly hit. Not going to get 2 out of that. They're not going to get anything out of that. Infield hit.
Wow. On an 0-2 count.
Flaherty scores the game-tying run on an infield dribbler with 2 strikes.
I mean, I don't know where else he could hit it on the infield where they wouldn't have a play other than right there.
No. It's another example of strikeouts don't matter. Well, yeah, they do. Put the ball in play and something good might happen.
And that's how you lead the league in hitting. You find all the holes, don't you?
Yep.
So now they've got to face Kurt Suzuki. Braves have tied at 5-5. Still only 1 out. And Suzuki's had a big night. He's homered, he's doubled, he's hit a sac fly, 2 RBIs. And, you know, he's hunting the heat right here. Got some, but too far inside. Ball 1. No answers for the Mets in relief of late. New York just got the lead. Gesellman's given up 3 hits and a run. And he's got him loaded with 1 out.
And Kurt already tonight with a sacrifice fly. Very good at hitting the ball in the air, drive it to the outfield, get that run in. He's also driven one over the fence tonight, his first time up.
Two and 0. Squibber to the right side. Gonzalez is coming home. His throw in time there. And Ender with a hard slide. No chance for Plawecki to try to complete a double play. Inciarte's forced at the plate. And 2 are out.
Nice play by Gonzalez. You guys were bragging on his defense earlier. Nice play there.
So Freeman's at third, Markakis at second, Suzuki is at first on the force play, and Charlie Culberson's the hitter, 0 for 3 in game 2. Braves have tied at 5-5. Good stop, almost to the screen, 1-0. One thing that has characterized this Braves team all year, their 2-out run scoring ability. Can Culberson come through with a big 2-out knock? One and 2.
Well, that's some good hard sinking action there.
If Gesellman can get out of this, allowing only 1 run, that's amazing work. The 1-2 pitch. Fly ball center. Conforto back. Still going, but the park is gonna hold it. And Gesellman gives up the lead. It's 5-5. We head to the 7th.
Mets and Braves locked up at 5-5. Well, as part of May being Coors Military Appreciation Month, this Thursday, the Braves hosted the 5th annual Warrior Classic. It was outstanding. The U.S. veterans got to take in the battery, go to the Mizuno experience, and take BP on the field. Even got to have lunch with former Braves Chris Hammond, Charlie Leibrandt, Jim Nash, Otis Nixon, and Marty Perez. Absolutely outstanding time. Way to go, gentlemen. Way to go, Braves. Back to you, Chip.
All right, Paul, thank you very much. A.J. Minter, as you see, is coming on to pitch the 7th for Atlanta. Reason, first 3 hitters due for New York, all left-handed.
He pitched yesterday an inning, gave up a hit and a walk, but struck out 2 in Boston. Lefty's only hitting a .185 against him.
Not a big fan of the music they just played. Thunderstruck after we've had 5 hours worth of rain today. Come on, guys. Here's Michael Conforto. He's 2 for 3 with a run.
Better be careful. You get the National Association of Baseball music players after you.
Oh, Lord knows we wouldn't want to have that happen. Conforto. Is 0 for 1 with a strikeout against Minter. Head-to-head the pitch. And that takes care of that. A 1-strike single, and the lefties for New York, one of Joe's keys to victory for Brandon McCarthy, are having themselves quite a night tonight. Nimmo a homer, Conforto 3 hits, Bruce a double and a run, Gonzalez an RBI hit. And then Plawecki's been on base 3 times. So the top 5 guys for New York are getting it done. And Minter in immediate trouble with Bruce coming up. Jay Bruce 0 for 2 with a strikeout against Minter. New York with 5 runs, 11 hits. The Braves 5 runs, 13 hits. The big difference, the left on base column. The Braves have stranded 10 runners. The 1-0 pitch fouled away. Braves have also had a man thrown out at the plate tonight. That was in the 2nd inning when Camargo was gunned down by Conforto. Those are big stats in a tie game late. 5-5 the pitch. Is grounded. Oh, what a play. Freeman from his knees. A laser to second for 1. Great play by Freddie Freeman to erase Conforto.
Speaking of good defensive first baseman, the big 6'5" guy lays out here. Look how far away from the bag he is when he actually makes this play and gets to his knees. He's out on the grass.
Fired a rocket from his knees.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Check the webbing as Adrian Gonzalez is up. Gonzalez with an RBI hit. This one sprayed into shallow center. Ender's coming on. He dives, can't hang on. A bloop hit for Adrian Gonzalez.
Like he might have had it right on the edge of his glove, right at the end of the fingers.
He needed to be a foot taller and he had it.
Yep. If he had just kind of used his cesta to scoop it over there to Dansby, they'd have gotten a force at second.
So 1st and 2nd, 1 out. Here's Plawecki. He's been a tough out in his return from the DL. He's got 2 hits. He scored a run. Dare we say the
7th inning stretch will follow after Plawecki hits into a 6-4-3 double play.
I think that's a good call.
You dare. I'm all for it.
The 0-1.
Ooh. Phil Cuzzy digs me every time. Those close calls, he stands up like he's about to call a strike.
A.J. ready with his 1-1 pitch. That should have been a strike.
Yeah, that may have been a. He didn't like the way AJ looked at him in the last one, so that cut every bit of the strike zone.
Sure did.
Now it's 2-1 for the Met catcher. Jose Reyes is on deck. Ground ball left side. There's the 6, but no play. Infield hit Plawecki. Second one of those tonight.
He doesn't care where he's hitting it. He's just got 3 of them tonight. Nice play by Dansby. May have saved a run. Tough man to double up here. Aggressive on the first pitch.
Reyes has a hit. He's scored. And he was aggressive. Fouled it straight back.
Braves are in on the corners. They'd come home. Playing for 2 up the middle.
No balls and a strike. He's gotten ahead 0-2. So where do you go to get Reyes now?
Taking back foot slider.
Taking with that cutter.
Yep.
His hard cutter. But I'd let the guys on the left side of the diamond know, just in case he is able to get the barrel down there and pull the ball.
Little pop over by the Braves on deck circle, but out of play. Mets have 3 hits in the inning, have yet to score. The great play by Freeman looking bigger and bigger as this 7th inning continues. Minter ready with his 0-2 pitch. Struck him out over the outside corner. What a pitch.
Didn't have to guess from Phil Cuzzy that time, did I?
No.
It's funny, that one pitch to the inside corner was a strike all the way, and that one never was a strike.
No. Yep.
Now Guillorme is up. He's 1 for 3. He's a tough guy to strike out. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Nothing in 1. Kurt held it there, but that one wide. A ball and a strike. Lifted into left. That's going to get down for a hit. And 2 runs are going to score. So Guillorme has a 2-hit night. He had 2 hits in game 1. He drives home 2 runs. Bruce and Gonzalez score, and New York takes the lead again.
3 hits this inning by left-handed hitters, and left that one up for him to slap it the other way.
And A.J. Minter has a disappointing 7th inning. He'll be taken down in a double switch. Preston Tucker's going to come on and play left field for Charlie Culberson, as Minter faces 6 hitters, retires 2 of them. Mets pick up 2 runs on 4 hits. The runners at first and second belong to him as well. Lucas Sims will be the new Atlanta pitcher. It's 7-5 New York. Sadly, the Mets lead 7-5. Lucas Sims now will come on. He's the 3rd Atlanta reliever. Sims will bat in Culberson's spot. That is the 6th place on the lineup card. Preston Tucker takes over in left. He'll bat 9th. His spot's coming up 3rd when the Braves bat in this inning.
When Lucas pitched a couple of days ago, I think he was the only guy that didn't give up a run.
That's
in
correct.
That game at Boston. He had a good inning. 1-2-3 inning, as a matter of fact. And that snapped a string of 4 straight outings where he'd given up a run. So let's hope he's back on the right track. Stop the bleeding right here.
So Ahmed Rosario up for New York, the first man to face Sims. Rosario's knocked in 2 runs. Every Met who started this game, with the exception of the pitcher, has at least 1 hit. They have 14 in total. And Rosario tied up, a ball and a strike. Well, the Braves have them right where they want them. The 7th, 8th, and 9th innings coming up. That's when Atlanta's offense has been so very productive. Braves, though, trail by 2. They've got 9 outs left. Does that sound familiar? Slider a strike, 1-2. Braves trailed 3-1 going into the bottom of the 9th inning, making that 3-2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Pushed across 2 runs on the Culberson walk-off homer. First and second, 2 outs. The pitch is lined into center field, a base hit. Plawecki around 3rd is getting waved. Ender loads up. His throw carries to the first base side of the line, and Sims can't retire the first batter. Runners move up, second and third on the Rosario RBI hit, and the Mets extend their lead. Three RBI night for the Mets shortstop.
Up and in, fought it off and hit it pretty solidly. But Ender's throw, as you can see where Kurt had to go get it, way off the mark.
So neither Moylan nor Minter nor Sims has been able to retire the first batter faced. And that trio's given up 6 hits in an inning and a third. Fouled away by Asdrubal Cabrera, who's on as a pinch hitter.
Yeah, their best hitter.
Let's have a 3-run lead. Mickey Callaway may be going for the jugular here with 2 outs. Because the way the Mets pen has pitched, 3 runs might not be a big enough bulge for them.
No, you got to do your best, hold it here, and take your chances.
Selman gave up a run, 3 hits in his inning. But he now leads the game 8-5. Foul away, a ball and 2 strikes. First pitch in game 2 was 10:07 Eastern time. It was supposed to be 7:10. 2-hour and 57-minute rain delay. As we're now approaching 1:45 in the morning. That's with 2 runs in the 6th, 3 in the 7th. And a fly ball hit toward Tucker in left. And he's there to retire the side. Very productive 7th inning for the Mets. They send 8 to the plate, 3 of them score. And New York at the 7th inning stretch now has an 8-5 lead, trying to split this day-night doubleheader here at SunTrust Park in Atlanta. Here to perform God Bless America for game 2 is retired Staff Sergeant Bill Kilmeyer, who did a tremendous job performing the song earlier this afternoon here in Atlanta. Great crowd still on hand at SunTrust. Let's see if the Braves can rally here in the 7th.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys. Nicely done on Memorial Day here in Atlanta. 8-5 New York. Time for the stretch.
Well, welcome into our Braves Live set here in the Battery Atlanta. If you're still with us, good morning, and thank you for staying with us. Brian Jordan has been here since like 10 a.m. I'm Kelsey Wingard alongside Brian Jordan. And man, what a long day it's been. Game 1, an exciting one. The Braves get the walk-off win.
When was that game? Holy cow, it's been so long.
It was yesterday,
but
literally.
What a great win. Tyler Flowers taking DeGrom deep straightaway center field. He got the scoring started for the Braves. And all of a sudden, the kid, the catcher, Mazzaraco, comes through with a big home run that takes the lead. But in the bottom of the 9th, Charlie Culberson, a 2-run walk-off bomb. And look at the celebration.
Look at Mark
That was about 10 hours ago. That's where it feels right now. But great job in that first game. And that takes us to game 2, which was delayed and not started until 10:05. And how about Kurt Suzuki? His 7th home run of the season. Braves take an early lead, but Mr. Nemo says, we want the lead back. He goes deep. Freddie Freeman, a 2-run single. The Braves tied the ball game. And how about Mr. Rosario? He's having a big night in this 2nd game. He has 3 RBIs already. But to tie the ball game, how about my man, Nick? And it didn't last long, Kelsey. Wow. 3 more runs by the Mets, and they take the lead right now.
If you are still watching this, I want you to listen up. Get Nick Markakis to the All-Star game. That man is hitting .343. Beat out that infield dribble on an 0-2 count. Hopefully, this is setting the Braves up for another walk-off win. We can get 2 in one day. Chip, Joe, and Tom, back to you guys.
Well, Kelsey, that's a great idea. The Braves are in the right part of the game to do that, the 7th, 8th, and 9th. They will face Jacob Rame, who's on in relief. He's going to try to protect a 3-run lead. Rame came from the Dodgers for Curtis Granderson in August of last year. The first 3 for the Braves in the 7th: Camargo, Swanson, and Preston Tucker. Atlanta scored 95 runs in the 7th inning or later this year. A strike.
So when they come back and win this game, though, will it constitute 2 in one day?
Not anymore.
Good question.
Right.
Well,
so then they'd have to win tomorrow's game.
There you
and
go.
back.
Right.
Or later today's, I should say.
Yes, exactly. And the Braves made it official. Anibal Sanchez is going to start game 3 of the series later on today. Steven Matz will be the Mets pitcher. That game starts at 7:35. We'll be on the air at 7 p.m. with Braves Live. Little flare into right. It is going to be caught, however, by Jay Bruce. And there's the first out. Our SunTrust confidence play. Is that good work by the Braves in the final 3 innings? And since 2017, Braves have scored 370 runs. Second most in the major leagues. Most impressive number, that 44 wins in the last at bat. The old don't quit with Snit line. Hopefully that'll hold true again in this game. Strike 1 for Dansby, who's 0 for 3 tonight and 0 for 7 in the doubleheader.
I need to correct something I said earlier about Rame, that he had been in their rotation. That is not the case. He's worked strictly out of the bullpen in 9 outings and got touched up by Milwaukee a couple of days ago. 2 hits, a walk, 2 runs.
Well, he's coming in throwing 97. And he just threw 197 right by Dansby at the top of the zone. 2 up, 2 down. I'm making no excuses for the Braves in any way, shape, or form. After you had the late night arriving last night, later than normal, the emotional win of game 1, you wonder if you're starting to run out of that energy and adrenaline this late.
Well, it's very possible.
Two up, 2 down for Preston Tucker. And that one blisters the zone. Strike 1. That's trying to end their bullpen slump. So far, their relief corps doing good work. Robles with 3 scoreless innings. Gesellman had the rocky 6th, but gave up only 1 run. Now Rame's gotten the first 2 very quickly.
Hard breaking ball. They got him from the Dodgers last August when LA came and wanted Curtis Granderson.
If I'm a hitter, I'm not feeling too comfortable. The guy throwing 97 and wearing glasses. We're at 95, full count.
What's the dude's name from Major League? Closer, Charlie Sheen's character. What was he?
Oh, Ricky Vaughn.
Ricky Vaughn, yeah.
Wild thing.
Tucker had a good cut at that one and stays alive. 3-2. That is tipped and caught, and Rame a very impressive 7th inning. Couple of strikeouts. We head to the 8th. Combined for the Braves and the New York Mets. Probable starters in Game 3 later on tonight. It's going to be Steven Matz for New York, and it'll be good to see Anibal Sanchez back on the mound for the Braves.
Yeah, it's been a while after that strained hamstring that waylaid him. Steven Matz got off to a little bit of a slow start. He's beginning to come around, however. Yeah, they put a lot of stock in a couple of years ago, but he's had a hard time staying healthy.
Brandon Nimmo is leading off for New York in the 8th inning. He hit a home run back in the 3rd. Sims will finish his first full inning for Atlanta.
Yeah, that home run was yesterday.
That's a good point. High fly to right. Nick going back to the track, to the wall, and just enough room. That was close. Here's Conforto. He's got 3 hits. Mets trying to snap a 4-game losing streak and earn their 2nd win of the year against Atlanta. Now the Braves have beaten New York 6 out of the first 7 head-to-head. Two balls, no strikes to Conforto. Braves will see the Mets here again in Atlanta June 12th and 13th. We go to New York for 4 games, August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And finish with the Mets the final road trip of the season. As a 4-pitch walk puts Conforto at first. Final week for Atlanta, 3 in New York, 3 against the Phillies at Citizens Bank Park. It could be a fantastic finish. And Jay Bruce, the batter. He's scored a couple of runs. He's also doubled. in for a strike. Rain begins to fall as we approach 1 o'clock.
It's about when we thought it was going to be here.
Yep.
Yep.
Line down the line, foul. Hey, nice play by the bat boy. Who makes a friend in the front row. Nicely done.
Good one-hop catch. Mets still waiting for Jay Bruce to break out after re-signing him.
Runner goes. Pitch line foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He's had a very slow beginning as he rejoined the Mets this year after being traded over to Cleveland for their run last year.
Boy, was he good with the Tribe, huh? 7 homers, 26 RBIs in 43 games. Overall, he had 36 homers and drove in 101 runs. It's a big year. Second time in his career Bruce has been over 100 RBIs in a season. The 1-2 pitch. And 2-2. 7 seasons of 25 or more homers since 2010 for Bruce, most in the majors, tied with Adam Jones in that category. Jay's a 3-time All-Star. And he's down on strikes. Sims takes care of Jay Bruce. That's the second out of the 8th inning. And here's Gonzalez.
Good runner away from him. Changeup dying over there.
Adrian Gonzalez has knocked in a run. He's scored 1. He's cut down a runner at the plate. Up and down this Mets lineup. A lot of good nights. 5 players have multi-hit games for New York. They have 15 total hits. A very close play at first. Conforto almost got picked.
It's like that little shower stopped right away.
Well, again, the Braves in Major League Baseball and the Mets wanted to get this game in, even if it meant starting very, very late. The weather forecast tomorrow here in Atlanta is not very good. It's not to say we won't get the game in. It's not to say it won't start on time, but the forecast is for more of the same wet, gray, rainy weather, not just tomorrow, but perhaps all the way through until the Nationals get to town. The Braves have already had their share of off days taken away because of makeups. Got one later in the year that's going to be filled by the Cubs, who have to come back to Atlanta. As you said, Joe, the Mets have a bunch of doubleheaders already on their slate.
2 in July, a week apart against the Phillies.
3-1 pitch, runner goes. It's bounced to first. Freddie's got it. And Adrian Gonzalez and New York retired in the 8th. Braves have 6 outs left to get 3 runs. It's 8-5 New York. The order coming up for Atlanta. Mickey Callaway's bringing on Juris Familia, his closer, to face these top 3 Atlanta hitters.
Well, maybe he's going to try to get 2 innings out of him.
Yeah, that was the interesting call in game 1 today. Remember, Seth Lugo was pitching the 8th. He had Familia up and warming. The game plan was to use Lugo either for 2 innings in game 1 or start him for 2 games in game 2. In the game New York, they said had to win earlier today. Why warm up Familia if you're not going to use him? That's the
good question.
$64,000 question that Callaway had to answer and may still have to answer after tonight's action.
Well, his last outing was not a good one against Miami. 5 days ago, an inning, 4 hits and 2 runs and a blown save and a loss.
Part of the Mets bullpen issues, which were helped by Rame's game. 3 up, 3 down, 7th with a couple of strikeouts. He was impressive.
Yes, he was.
So Familia for the 8th, perhaps the 9th. Ender leads off. He's 2 for 4, a single and a double and a run scored. Bouncing ball just fouled at third.
Oh.
That would have been a thing of beauty. One thing about Familia, he's not unfamiliar with long save chances. 7 saves of an inning and 2/3 since 2014. Inning and 2/3 or more, that is. Might try to get a 6-out save today. He leads 8-5, and that almost hit Ender inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Those multi-inning saves have kind of gone the way of the dodo too. The 1-2 pitch. Now back. You think about all the work that Goose Gossage and Sparky Lyle and Bruce Sutter and Lee Smith did. Multi-inning saves day after day after day. Different game then, certainly a different game now. One ball, 2 strikes. Tipped and caught, 1 away. Last 3 Braves have been struck out. 1 up, 1 down for Familia.
Jason Vargas was up in their bullpen, still is, throwing.
Get him in the game.
Well, maybe now that gotten close to the end of the second game, they said go ahead, get your side work in.
Vargas has been a tremendous disappointment for the Mets. 10-point ERA. Little roller hit to the right side. Guillorme the flip to first, 2 out. And Freddie Freeman stands in, bases empty, 2 out. Freddie's gotten on 3 more times in this game. And the decision to walk him intentionally paid off long term for the Mets. Markakis follow with the infield hit to tie the game, but the Braves could do no further damage in the 6th.
Ow. Freddie does not and will not wear a shin guard. Just look like the knee. Yeah. Oh, right off the kneecap.
Yeah, shin guard wouldn't help that.
Nope.
You don't want to do that 1 o'clock in the afternoon, let alone 1 o'clock in the morning.
No.
That's the truth. Phil Cuzzy giving him a little respect and a little time here. Who's he looking at? Familia?
Yeah.
Huh.
Hope jurors didn't say that feel good, because sure didn't look like it did. No balls and a strike. Swing and a shot down the right field line, and that one is just foul. Woo, baby, right off the bricks. Look how far that ball ricocheted back toward the infield.
Boy, he can get to that inside fastball.
Was that foul?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. The other angle was a little deceptive. So 0-2, 2 outs, base is empty. And lifted to the left and out of play. Tampa Bay beat Oakland tonight. Johnny Venters picked up the save for the Rays. That's great news. Cleveland 2 games over 500 now, beat the White Sox 9-6. Seattle stays a game back in the AL West, beating Texas 2-1. Houston beat the Yankees 5-1. Boston 8-3 at home over Toronto.
Yeah, Verlander won that game for Houston.
What a pickup he's been. For the Astros.
His ERA now at 1.11.
That was the ultimate last-second acquisition at the deadline last year. And there are many in baseball still shocked that the Yankees and others didn't put a waiver claim in on Verlander to block his move to Houston, which has an unbelievable starting rotation with Charlie Morton and Keuchel and Garrett Cole and McCullers.
And they had Fultonevich.
And Velasquez.
And Vince Velasquez.
No balls, 2 strikes, bases empty in the Atlanta 8th. And Freeman is down on strikes. 2 strikeouts for Familia in a 1-2-3 8th inning. We go to the 9th at 1:08 in the morning. A little uncomfortable on the Braves dugout bench a moment ago.
Yeah, I think it was from a couple of swings in his last at bat against Rame. You can see there he kind of grabbed at his side. I don't know if he had a cramp. He's getting some attention. Doesn't look very comfortable.
But he's still in the game in left field as the Mets come a-calling in the 9th inning, already up by a 3-run margin. Kevin Plawecki, back from the disabled list, has had a big night. The Mets catcher's gotten on base 4 times. He has 3 hits. He has 2 infield hits, and he scored twice. And Lucas Sims misfires high, ball 1. Right there, even count. Foul away, a full count now for Kevin Plawecki. Tell you this, both these teams are going to sleep well tonight. And they will be happy with a 7:35 Eastern Time start tomorrow night.
Lucas has got a good hard breaking ball tonight, and he throws hard. If he can just be more consistent with that slider, as hard as it is, that's a pretty good 1-2 punch for him.
But he misses inside, and Plawecki's aboard for the 5th time in the game. Lucas with his 2nd walk. All these hits, fortunately, Atlanta for the most part had excellent control from the pitchers. Only 2 walks tonight. Sims has them both. All the other Mets base runners have reached on base hits.
Well, I can't have both. If they had a bunch of walks to go along with all these hits, would not be as a game that was still in reach.
And we'd be in the 5th inning.
Yeah.
One 1-0 count. Fouled back by Jose Reyes, who's in the last year of his contract in New York. Mentioned all of Jose's accolades earlier tonight. Forgot to mention he won the batting title in the National League back in 2011. He hit .337 and led the National League in hits in 2008 when he had 204 of them.
He was a toast in New York. Very exciting player and a terrific leadoff man.
Two and two.
And a really good shortstop, too.
Reyes is second in Mets history. Over 1,500 career hits. The only man in front of him is David Wright, with 1,777 of them. It's a shame that at this point David Wright's career has been interrupted by so many injuries. The neck problems, the spinal stenosis problems, the shoulder issues. I don't know if there's a way back for David Wright. First the 2-2 pitch. But he's such a great guy and such a great ambassador. Tom, you know better than we do what he means to and has meant to the Mets franchise. It'd be great to see him be able to play even one more game, just to, if it's going to end, let it at least end full circle.
Yeah, no question. No, he's a great guy, had a great career.
Reyes down on strikes. 1 on, 1 out.
I know he's still working his way to try and get back into the uniform and play a little bit, but I would venture to say somewhere along the line he'd just settle for having a normal life after this is all over and not have lingering health issues.
Or any more surgery.
Right.
Yeah, in 2015, 38 games. 2016, 37 games. No major league games last year. In fact, he played just 3 games at St. Lucie at Class A, trying to rediscover the magic. Basically 3 years away from the major league game. That's, I would think, almost unheard of to try to come back from. As Guillorme pops one up toward Tucker in left, he closes in near the line and now makes the grab for 2 outs. David was a 7-time All-Star. And a .296 career big league hitter. And if he's watching, hope he's doing well, and hope we'll see him when we see the Mets up in New York. He's under contract for 2 more seasons in New York. Here's Rosario, swing and a miss. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning, Markakis, Suzuki, and Culberson. Excuse me, Markakis, Suzuki, and a pinch hitter are coming up. Lucas Sims batting in Culberson's spot. I wonder if we will see Dustin Peterson debut.
That would be nice. Especially if there's a couple of guys on base in front of him and he's got a chance to tie it up.
We'll play all morning if the Braves have a chance to come back and win it. Is that one up and in? 3 balls and a strike. Three and 2. This is somewhat reminiscent of the infamous Rick Camp game that involved the Braves and the Mets. All the rain delays, 4th of July. Ron Darling got the final out. Rick Camp earlier in the night hit a long home run to tie the game. They shot off the fireworks. 3-2 pitch is caught on and missed. Keith Hernandez is working next door with the Mets. Hit for the cycle in that game, a little known fact. Last chance for Atlanta. 8-5 is your score. New York in command. Eight in order. Familia's back out for the ninth inning. You'll have Markakis, Suzuki, and then we'll see for the Braves. Rally caps are on here at SunTrust at 1:20 in the morning. Another good night for Markakis. 2 more hits. He's picked up an RBI, his 37th, and he enters this ninth inning at bat hitting a robust .343 for the year. Very simple. The Braves need a lot of base runners. They have only 3 outs left. First pitch swing back to the mound off Familia's glove, and his throw to first on the money, and out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out. Brings up Suzuki. Kurtz had a good night. 2 RBIs, a homer, a double. And Dustin Peterson has grabbed a bat. He's in the on-deck circle. Ball 1 missed inside. Conlon, Robles, Gesellman, Rame, and Familia, the Mets pitchers in game 2. Brandon McCarthy started for the Braves, surrendered 5 runs in 5 1/3 innings. The Braves relief trio of Moylan, Minter, and Sims allowed 3 runs. But the big issue was none of those 3 retired the first batter they faced, and that led to all kinds of problems. Let's have 5 players with multi-hit games tonight.
Those left-handers did a number early on.
Braves have 4 men with 2 or more hits in the game, including Suzuki, who's down to his last strike.
10 hits by left-handed hitters. That counts Reyes batting left-handed when he got a hit.
That was one of Joe's 4 keys for Brandon McCarthy. Control the lefties. Atlanta couldn't do that tonight. As New York has out-hit Atlanta 15-13. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kurt not going down quietly here in the bottom of the 9th. Another 1-2 pitch. Squibb towards second. Guillorme's got it. And he threw a sinker at Adrian Gonzalez, who has a wry smile at the rookie second sacker. Yep, it was a sinker. 2 outs for Peterson.
No matter what time it is or what day it is that you started playing and wind up getting your first big league at bat, it's a big deal.
Big league debut. And 1:24 in the morning. And he looks at a strike.
He was a 2nd-round pick by the Padres in 2014.
Turned it loose, didn't get it. No balls, 2 strikes. His hands are held low, aren't they? And shot foul at first.
Yeah, you got to be pretty strong, and he is, to hold him down there. Came over from the Padres along with Jace Peterson, Malik Smith, and Max Fried for Justin Upton and Aaron Northcraft.
Another 0-2 pitch from Familia. Here it is. Way outside, 1-2. Well, if his heart was really thumping at the start of the at bat, well, he's going to see a 5th pitch. See if he can keep the game alive for Atlanta. The 1-2 from Familia is high. 2-2. Juris ready. Here it is.
Out of the way. Get your hacks in.
Hey, make this guy throw a lot of pitches. You never know. Might not be available tomorrow after 2 innings.
You mean later today?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Or tomorrow too. Maybe he can't pitch on Wednesday. I'm not picky. The 2-2 pitch. And that's outside. Son, you got to have 4 to take a walk at this level.
And you know somebody's going to tell him that.
Well, Juris just did. He just hold his hands up like, where are you going?
It's been a long night for Dustin too. The 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 ends the game. And the New York Mets split the doubleheader with the Braves winning game 2 by a final score of 8-5. It was a bullpen game for New York, and their much maligned bullpen finally came through for Mickey Callaway. Braves couldn't hold a couple of leads late and wasted a bunch of opportunities. Atlanta stranded 10 men in the second game tonight despite 13 hits. Couldn't pull out the victory. The Braves fall to 31-22 on the year. Game 3 here tomorrow night. It's Mets versus Anibal Sanchez. Fellas, your final thoughts.
Long day, tough second game, no question. Braves had their opportunities, but yeah, a lot of guys left on base. Mets bullpen is a little bit better tonight than it has been, so you know, that was good for them, obviously. But you know, nice win earlier. Look for the Braves to come back tomorrow, bounce back, and grab a game tomorrow.
You know what I'm looking forward to? A, some sleep, and B, some dry weather. Yes. Hopefully that'll happen. And hopefully the Mets will cooperate as well. Braves Live is coming up next. Joe, Tom, and I will see you tomorrow night for Sanchez and Mets at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. 8-5 is your final score. We'll see you later on tonight here at SunTrust Park.